We ready to figure out this ED project? I think first we should talk about the project in itself and what it will entail. So we know we're relocating one ED, right? And we're expanding the adult ED. So what types of things do you think would, before we even get into the leadership and the teams, what types of things are going to take place during this project?
Location,
I'm sorry?
location,
Location,
time, construction.
time, construction,
Money,
money,
expense.
Lots of money.
lots of money,
And you have to make sure you have the staff for all of that too.
right? You have to figure out how we're going to continue to provide our services during this time.
The expansion.
You know, oftentimes you go to hospitals and they'll have places tarped off or signs that say, excuse our dust. Those are all types of things that we'll have to figure out because we still have to provide a certain level of care, even though we're having construction and doing everything else it takes to move these EDs. So let's talk first about leadership. And since you guys have 4 people, we'll start over here and talk about what type of leadership is needed for a project like this.
I think part of our thing is you're gonna need, like you said, several types of leadership within, because it's gonna be a pretty big project, so you're gonna have several teams.
Right?
I think, but I think like overall, you would need someone that's kind of authoritarian to, how else to put it, kind of be like the puppet master, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, like one person is making sure that this team's doing, what they're supposed to be doing, this team's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
So authoritarian. Okay.
For like your top person who's going to be doing it.
All right. Any other types or styles? Somebody else talk.
I thought that one we could be the situational type leadership too. And the reason for that is because they have a certain thing that they're doing, and it's basically just for that. It's not anything else dealing with the hospital except for that, the move and the location.
Okay, so
So
situational team,
yeah.
situational leader.
Yeah.
I had a hard time pronouncing participative leadership.
Participative.
Because they're people oriented.
What's your reason why?
Because they're people oriented.
Okay.
And I think
And I feel, when you're in leadership, you should have that perspective of yourself to where people are able to approach you and talk
Okay.
to you.
I think that kind of thinking too is like the participative would be like the leadership that you'd have over each individual team. That would be the kind that would get involved, work with you, And they would be kind of like your leadership style that would be beneficial, I think, to your smaller teams.
Okay. Any other leadership? All right, we're gonna pause right there, and we're gonna go over here. See what you guys have.
The first one, when it was participate,
That's a hard one.
participative leadership. And the reason we pick is because they are willing to work with people and then also assume responsibility. And that can be
Assume responsibility meaning? As a member of the team, you mean?
No,
like
what the participating leaders believe that the people
who wants to work and willing to assume responsibility.
Okay. Any other?
we have Theory Z leadership.
Theory Z.
Yes, because it's basically
Go ahead, you're on the right track.
Just basically working all together, like a strong reliance on team mechanisms such as quality circles.
Any others?
We have bureaucratic leadership, which basically we're doing it because it enforces the policies, rules, and procedures to overdo this project. From upper management, upper management.
Okay. I don't know if I spelled that right.
Let's see if that's
No more. Okay. So we'll come back to that. We're going to go back to this team and talk about teams. Oh, we got silence.
It would be a project team, I mean, it's a special project, so.
Special project team. Okay, but tell me what type of special project team it would be.
an employee team.
Because there could be tons of different ones
The employee
for a
team.
project like this. You're saying employees?
Not really, not all employees, but you need their input to know exactly where you need to go with it.
Right, that's who would be on the team. But my question is, what type of special project team would this be?
You would need to break it down into the tasks that need to be accomplished,
Right.
like someone who's gonna be in charge of staffing.
So it'd be attached to
Like a
the-
staffing type team, and then like someone who is in charge of, like construction, renovation.
Staffing, construction,
Cost, but like budgeting,
budget.
budget, cost.
Any other type team?
You need a team that would focus on how to be able to maintain, the service to your community while you're doing your renovation and expansion. I don't know how do you put that? What's a good word for that?
We call that a process engineering team. No more? All right, what we got over here?
You can head to the safety committee on a special purpose team, we need safety committee.
Why safety?
Because you're under construction, you have people, you still have patients coming in and out. You need to make sure it's a safe environment for everybody.
I'm impressed. What else you got?
Thanks. We also put a departmental team.
I'm impressed again. Why so?
Because it's it overall sees everybody in the department.
What department would this be?
The emergency department.
Just checking.
Right.
Just making sure we're on the same page. All right, what else?
That's basically all we got.
That's all you got? That's some good ones.
Oh, no.
And we got
Oh, yeah, up there,
project.
the project team, we're basically doing it for the organization. As a project employee can be relatively simple if they all band together.
So you mean
A project.
the greater team?
Right,
Okay.
sorry about that one.
So this would be everybody?
Correct.
No. All right. All right, so we got some good stuff. So what we're gonna do is typically what we do, and we're gonna go through both lists and see what's most important. Through manager mindset. We have 5 different leadership types, and they're all good, but I want us to try to pick 2 that are most important? Hard, right? That's what this class is all about. So, and we'll talk about this. Give me some thoughts on which ones you think are most important.
Our vote goes with participating.
The whole team's vote goes with
Yeah,
participators.
that's true.
That's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
one.
that's definitely one.
So you guys agree
Yes,
too?
Yes.
I don't know what's wrong with nervous. All right, so we'll put a star right here.
Like I said before, I think you need an authoritative leadership style that kind of oversees and makes sure.
But also too, with the leadership anyway, you're gonna be able to delegate, so you'll be able to have that.
So
All right, I would say that would go with it, as a leadership. You have
what,
that
the
ability.
authoritative?
No, with that, you will have the authority to delegate, so you don't really need that. It's- Because they give, nobody can bring anything back to them, because they're always giving out. With something undertaken with different people, you're gonna need feedback, as opposed to just sitting there delegating out like that.
All right. So we need one more. I know which one I would choose.
Situation.
I would say bureaucratic.
You're saying situational, why?
Because it's based on flexible, I don't know.
I would say bureaucratic.
Sounds like we have some debate here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that bureaucratic because like not only can they give out tasks or delegate tasks or whatever, but they're willing to work also.
But they work by the book, right?
I would say,
I don't know,
I
they
would
just
say
follow the rules.
bureaucratic because they're coming from management
They're
and
not open
CEOs
door.
from the top,
Yeah.
so they know exactly what they're wanting instead of just going in and doing something and then have to go back and change it. They're coming straight from the top, so.
So everybody wants bureaucratic.
No.
I would go.
No.
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 I take that back.
No, I think,
All right.
I would go with situational
Yeah,
as well.
situational. Mhm.
Situational.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right, teams. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess 7. Let's go with 3.
Okay, put a good start by safety, because she's right about, gotta have safety. She's right about that.
Does everybody agree on that?
Yes.
Safety. We need a safety special projects team. What else?
Departmental.
Yes.
That one.
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
And what does everything revolve on?
And the
Project.
money.
Budget.
Say budget.
I would say the
For
greater,
me,
the greater, the organization.
I
of
hear
project.
greater over here. I hear budget.
Will greater include the budget?
It includes the whole organization.
It should.
Yeah.
Greater, okay.
Everybody okay with this?
Sure.
I think these are okay. I think you guys chose good teams. I think safety, we have to, again, remember who our number one customer is, which is the patients. They don't need to come in and leave worse than they are when they come in. So we have to make sure that they're safe. So I think that, this one was good. The project is involving this department. We need an ED team, right? It'd be different if it was in surgery. That might not be as relevant, but it's an emergency department project, so they need to have a departmental team. And I think with a project of this scale, this is probably important because the ED ultimately affects everybody anyway. The patients start out in the ED, but eventually they're gonna go somewhere else. They're gonna go to imaging, they're gonna go to the cardiology floor. So I think it's important to make sure that everybody is involved in the project. So I think you guys did a good job picking which teams you would focus on. Now if we go back over here to leadership, I have a little bit of heartburn.
I don't know, but I like the organization.
Let me tell you why. Participative, I think is fine. Situational, I think is fine. But when I think about an emergency department project, it's a very large project and it's something that has to be done right. Again, for a lot of people, the ED is the first place they go when they get to the hospital. It's the first line of defense, as you would say, from the hospital. So we have to make sure that this project goes right. We can't afford for it to fail. And because of that, I probably would have chose this one. Because Theory Z focuses on inputs and outputs, quality work. So you want to make sure that the project is done right. And we can't afford to mess up. We don't have the money. So what I probably would have chosen is this one along with one of these instead of these two.
They kind of similar.
If it had been a different department, I may not have chosen Theory Z, but because the ED is so critical to the hospital, I think it's important that you involve this type of leadership in a project like that. Does that make sense? Any other comments about this? As we can see, this is something that happened, I think, just last year at Cape Fear. So
I think it's a great idea though, because you go to the emergency department and a lot of times it's full of earaches and coughs and runny noses.
Right.
Especially in children, because parents don't know what to do.
Right.
The first thing they do is, let me take my child to the emergency room for the fever and things.
Right.
So then I think breaking it up, to an adult and a children's would, I think you could
it
serve a
definitely
lot more
helps
people.
to fast track patients.
Yeah, you can definitely have a fast track.
They broke it up and made that one good big side, but they started to notice they had more adults coming in than children. So the children's side would be empty and the adult side would be full. So instead of being able to move adults to the children's side, they weren't able to do that. They needed more space because they couldn't get everybody into the back.
Right.
So they moved the children back to the side where they were and made the adult exchange over to the children's side. So now they have two intake sides to where they don't have as much traffic.
So, overall, I think you guys did a good job, given the time you had. So, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.